Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our evening meditation, our Wednesday evening meditation. I'm really delighted that you are all here this evening so that we can honor tonight the Autumnal Equinox. The Autumn Equinox is a time of balance, it is a time of release, it is a time for preparation. It's also a time that we would have a very special and beautiful service honoring the equinox, which we are not in our building right now, and so we are going to pull some parts of that beautiful service right here with us this evening, as we also meditate with the magic of our Earth Magic cards as well. So, I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Reverend Rob Banaszak with the Institute for Spiritual Development. And if you are watching on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, please remember to hit like on this video and subscribe, and so you can keep getting notifications of our offerings on YouTube in the future. So I thought I would start this evening by just reading a short description of what this season means in our kind of spiritual history and giving context for the work that we do, which is something we would have read during our service today. So just relax, enjoy this evening. We'll be meditating very soon. The Autumn Equinox is a dramatic and powerful period in the cycle of the earth. It's a time of balance and harmony. For now, night and day are one. From this night forward, the sun begins to wane and darkness becomes the dominant element. As such, it is a signal to prepare for winter. Bounteous nature now brings an orchard and field into fullness for the ingathering of the supply by which life is maintained. That which the harvest brings must be laid in store for the months in which the earth will sleep. In ancient times, many otherwise diverse peoples and cultures celebrated this time in honor of various gods and goddesses at the harvest. Recognizing the intrinsic forces of nature at work in the eternal cycle of life and death and rebirth, human consciousness seeks to unite itself with the dynamic flow of the universe, of which it is a vital aspect. Through this, the original Thanksgiving feasts were enjoyed in a concelebration of wealth of the harvest and the approaching dark void of winter. In all her majesty and awesome power, nature is at once mother and crone, the eternal dichotomy of the goddess. The abundance of life is balanced by the shadow of impending death. In our meditation today, we honor this time of balance as we weave into our lives, ritually, those things which we desire. And so before we go on tonight, I would like to ask everyone, if they can, to take a moment and to find themselves a small piece of paper, just about this size, little post-it note size if you can. And we're going to write on this piece of paper, as we have done in other meditations in the past, especially in our sanctuary, those things that we would like to release this season, those things that we no longer have need for. Maybe it's a habit that we have or a ritual that no longer serves us. Maybe it's something that we are just tired of repeating every single day, a behavior. Maybe it's a person that we need to let go of because that person is no longer serving us and enriching us. No one's going to see it. You're writing it in the privacy of your own home. And then later this evening, after we meditate, I'm going to have a representation of all of our intentions, which I have right here. So this piece of paper here is going to represent all of the intentions that we're all bringing here on this meditation. And this will be true whether you're watching us in real time, live, or if you're watching us record it. But just know that when you set that intention, when you write that intention right now, it is included in this that I will burn on behalf of all of us that are a part of this meditation this evening. So that which we would like to release, and we don't want to let go of anything without making sure that we regenerate with something. So also on the other side of that piece of paper, write in something that you would like to have in place of what we are releasing. So it's like clearing out our closets. We're letting go of one thing so that we can make room for another, if that makes sense. And more on all of that later. But for now, just take a moment to write down, think about, reflect on what we want to release and then what we want to receive. And then we're going to hold on to this piece of paper as we meditate this evening so that we can empower it with our energy and with the energy of everybody that is joining us in this meditation, no matter when they join. And then we will light it and send it off into the universe to become manifest. So while you reflect on your intention, on your releasing and your receiving, let us open with a short prayer. Now is the time of the harvest, a time of joyful thanksgiving. Now light and dark are equal. It is a time of balance when all that is within us must be brought into a new harmony. Soon the sun shall drift into the shadows, and nature dictates that we follow it into the darkness. In its cycle, the life force recedes and the time of bareness approaches. Yet we are thankful for that which has been reaped. We meet to turn the wheel of the year and weave the cord of life, which shall sustain us through the time of darkness. All the power that ever was, all the power that ever will be is here right now. And so it is. So you've had some time to think of your intention. And so usually this is the point where I explain how we use the Earth Magic cards for our meditation. And we usually shuffle the cards, or I will shuffle the cards and draw the top card that represents all of our intentions, all of our energies that we put toward my shuffling or moving the cards around. But tonight is a very, very specific evening honoring the Autumnal Equinox. And if you haven't seen this deck yet, it's the Earth Magic deck. It's a beautiful deck. As we were in the Institute for Spiritual Development building today, we actually sold this deck in the bookstore at one time, and I did not know that, so I bought these somewhere else. But delightful set of cards. Highly recommend them. We use them every week. But because they are so appropriate for these Wednesday evening meditations, and because the Autumnal Equinox is one of the cards, that's the card we are going to work with this evening. So you can see it here. It's already drawn because that is what today is. It is the time of the equinox. It's the time of balance and release and preparation. And this is also the time that I read once we've drawn the card from the Earth Magic book. And then we'll take a moment of reflection about the card ourselves, maybe think about some other things. Then we will go into our meditation. So let's read about the Autumnal Equinox and the card that we've drawn from that perspective. And I invite you to gaze on the card as I read. I'll have the card up when we meditate as well, so that you can kind of look at it and kind of really recall, note how you feel when you look at the card. When you see those beautiful trees in the forest, in the clearing, when you see those beautiful red and gold and orange and rust color, when you see all that foliage there. If you live in our area, in the Washington D.C. area, it's a glorious time when the leaves change It's just blanketed with the beautiful fall colors. But when you look at this picture, how does it make you feel? What does it make you think of? What does the word release bring to you in your mind, in your heart? And how does that associate with this time of the autumnal equinox as we move from summer to autumn? So all these things just kind of keep in mind as I read about the autumnal equinox from the Earth Magic book. In many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth in order to maintain robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the trees make, at least not in the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of the tree's leaves. How remarkable it is that these trees, and for that matter, all of Earth Mother's children, simply know what to do with the changes in the climate. Although this seasonal shift appears to be a death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contraction of winter, as an aspect of the life, death, rebirth cycle that we find represented in so many ways. Now is the time to let go of anything in your life. Now is the time to let it fall away. That which is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest while at the same time making preparations for the winter season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose that are no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. With release comes a sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that openly bear their nakedness once their leaves have departed and give room for whatever new life is ready to birth following a period of quiet gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. There you have it. It just emphasized what I said earlier. And so this time of balance comes from us knowing that today is the day where day and night are equal. It's one of the two times of the year, the autumnal equinox and the spring equinox. But that balance is also achieved by the letting go of that which is weighing us down. So if we've got a scale and we've got one side that is being loaded with burdens and outdated thinking and outdated feelings and experiences or relationships or activities that aren't really serving us moving forward, that they're literally weighing us down, then we must let them go one by one off of that scale so that we can balance ourselves, so that we can be the lightness, the weight, the exact perfect experience or weight or being that allows us to move forward effortlessly, easily, and enthusiastically. So I often do this, and if we're going to kind of hold ourselves responsible for the next week, I invite everybody to kind of take the practical side of this and see the metaphysical and metaphorical side, and begin to clear out that closet, that drawer, begin to lighten the burden so that you can recalibrate, so that we can balance ourselves and move forward. So if you're coming back next week, and I certainly hope you do, start that clearing process. Know that you are making yourself move into that balanced state. So let's meditate, why don't we? And as always, we are going to First of all, take your intention, and you want to hold on to it as you meditate tonight. And kind of put all of your energy into it, knowing that it is going to be released into the universe, and then come kind of falling back to it, much like the leaves do when they are ready to fall off. And when we meditate, we begin to pay attention to our breath as it enters into our body. So we're going to inhale. How does that feel going through your nostrils? How does it feel as you fill your entire being, your entire physical self with that breath, all of its nourishment? And then we exhale slowly and completely. Do that again and really feel the breath. Feel the breath as it comes in. See the breath as it comes in. And hold. And then exhale. One more time, really just pay attention to it. Be very conscious of it as it comes in. And we hold. And we exhale. Good. Good. And so our breath is going to return to normal now. Inhaling and exhaling. And put our card up so that you can feel the card with you. You can look at it again when you need to. But now that we've paid attention to our breath, we're going to allow it to return to its natural breathing state, just inhaling fully, holding, and then exhaling. And each breath that we draw, we are going to become more and more relaxed. Inhaling naturally and easily, and exhaling. Inhaling again at your own pace and holding on, and exhaling. Inhaling, holding and exhaling. With every breath, more and more relaxed. And as the tones drift away, we discover our essence that remains here in this space. We feel it floating, gliding, dancing. We feel completely relaxed. We feel free from pain. We feel free from emotional sadness. Because with our presence, we only have the divine essence here in this space, where it is safe and calm and peaceful and serene. And so we've learned tonight that this season is about preparation, balance, and release. And we know that if we are to prepare for our days ahead, that we must release. We must rebalance. This is our preparation for the winter months, where we rest, where our hibernation strengthens us and nourishes us, where we come in from the cold, where we allow the sweet comfort of darkness to give us the canvas for dreams, for visions, for insight. In this space, we begin to sense ourselves as a strong and rooted tree in a forest, just like one of the trees in the card that we pulled. And so where we felt our human self, we now feel the roots of this strong and wise tree. We feel them deeply beneath us, burrowing into the ground, solid, strong. And as we pay attention to how it feels moving up through our trunk, we feel the wisdom and the strength of that solid trunk rising up, up, up out of the ground, and then reaching out as branches upon branches upon branches. We can imagine that feeling of stretching toward the sky, all of these branches. And as they stretch, we feel like little fingertips. Leaves pop out of those branches everywhere. Fresh and green and crisp, popping out all over until we are covered with these leaves as we reach and reach and reach. And then almost like time-lapse photography, we sense the seasons change from this springtime burst of life as the heat fills us and the skies change and the air shifts through the summer, through the heat, through the moisture, as we move into what today is the shift into the autumn. We can feel the autumn air change and become cooler as the greenness of our many, many, many twinkling and dancing leaves changes us, changes into, morphs, shifts into the beautiful yellow and red and orange and burnt colors of the autumn leaves. And as we feel their shift, we think of that situation or that person or that experience that we had as humans. And we imagine that experience as part of every leaf on our branch. Every one contains that experience that may have been serving us at the height of the metaphorical summer, worked well, gave us strength, made us bright. For the next few moments, we'll just reflect on that experience, remembering how it began, remembering where it was at its height, and remembering why it is time for it to be released. We'll take a few moments of the tone, so just allow yourself to be taken away as you reflect on that experience that is part of each leaf on our stretching and wide branches. We've thought of this situation. We've thought of it so much that we feel the weight of it with us. We feel the weight of it as the leaves begin to become heavier with its feeling, with its burden on our lives. And all of a sudden we have a notion that the wind is about to change. As the breeze begins to quicken, the leaves shake and tremble and dance until they pop right off and go sailing into the wind, tumbling to the ground and beyond, all around us, swirling through the breeze. As it calms slowly, and we stand there, bare and vulnerable and strong and ready. Though the breeze has released us from all of these leaves that have been so merry and life-giving, we feel beautifully and strangely free with our bare branches reaching audaciously toward the sky and toward each other. In this space, naked, in the dark, in this space, in the darkness, can we see clearly what the vision is. It's replacing what we've let go of. We see it so clearly in this dream space. We know that it is not yet part of us as we are living, but we know that it is there, and we know that we must rest this season to strengthen our self, to know our self, to feel our roots. As we move through these months of hibernation and darkness, we hold on to this dream that we can see in the dark throughout all of it. So that as the season turns and our vision of the earth world becomes more clear, what we see in this darkness will, yes, come into our light. There's nothing to do. There's no work Now, accept going into this season with this vision, this clear dream, with this clear intention, and allowing it to strengthen on its own so that we can manifest it with our physical being in the future. Let's just take a moment to relax into this beautiful state of darkness, easily and comfortably. Feeling strong and empowered and ready to move through the coming days of our earth life. We choose now to return to our physical selves, and we do this very simply, allowing our minds to go back to the breath that has held us tethered to our earth self. We remember that breath as it enters into our nostrils, as it fills our physical body, and as we exhale. With each breath that took us into relaxation, it now brings us back to our physical bodies. Inhaling, holding and exhaling. Fully aware of our breath, we return completely by taking 3 quick breaths together as we inhale fully and exhale fully, inhaling again and exhaling again. And one more time, inhaling and exhaling as we open our eyes and return to our space together. How do you feel? What was going through your thoughts and minds as you took your journey? I really encourage everyone to think about perhaps writing down some of those initial thoughts or your biggest thoughts or ideas that came to you as you made your journey, as you became the tree to let go of what you needed to for the coming season. Think about it, write it down. Send me an email if you want to share it. We can make plans to share together at some point with our meditations. But it took courage to do that, to be vulnerable, to allow whatever it is that's burdening us to fall away. and remain naked and ready for what comes next. Again, this is a season of balance and release, which is also preparation for the coming months. And to fully seal our experience tonight, we've all had our piece of paper there, right? So these represent all of our intentions. And we're going to burn them, send them off into the universe, letting them go, letting them be what they need to be. And they can return to us when they need to return. This is for all of us this evening. Away it goes, away it goes. Off into the ether, off into the universe. Off to become manifest in its fullness of time. How fun this has been to be here with you. And though we were not able to be in our sanctuary for our service, it's been fun to engage in the season and to leverage the power of this magical time, this time of balance, this time where we can consciously choose to regroup and relax after we release. And again, there's an assignment for next week, so let's begin that release physically, that will reflect our release spiritually and mentally. So let's come back here with a drawer, closet, house, ready for whatever can come in to fill it again. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Reverend Robin Banaszak, and I love being here for Wednesday evenings and for our meditation, and hope you had fun too, and look forward to seeing you. Please check our ISD website, www.isd-dc.org, for our latest events, and as we are in a very powerful period of transition, we look forward to continuing to engage you to be part of our community and in that transition. A lot of it's going to be right here in this online space. So please make plans, figure it out, upgrade your computer, do what you need to do so that we can all continue to share our space here together. Happy equinox, happy autumn. Have a great evening.